hang on a minute. There we go. I started that with the camera the wrong way around. That was a bit silly, wasn't it? I would have thought that Alive would have put the camera the right way around, but clearly not. So hello, we are here with Freedom Seekers, my little series chatting to other people who have got a version of freedom to share with you what that can look like. So namaste. Hi there. Sushi, I think. Right, let me find my lovely lady who is joining us today. Okay, I can see her. Okay, so now I need to add her. So if I say this, oh no, not that one. You know. I'm in Cambodia, and Amy, who should be here any minute now, I've sent her the button. Sent her the invite. Amy, if you can hear me, you should have something in your messages that you might need to click on. Amy is somewhere else in Asia. Can you guess where? She's got palm trees where she is. Okay. Oh, invite. Okay, I'm gonna do it this way then. Request to join. Might be in your messages, Amy, if you can grab it from there. Or I can press this one again. So I'm working, as you can see, this is my version of feeding today. I am working outside. This is off season, by the way. Off season. Like, I don't know, the sky's still blue. It's not raining. It's, it's just beautiful. But because it's off season, lots of hotels are really empty. So you can go and hang in a hotel and use the pool for a couple of dollars. So that means I'm at a nice little desk with shade, which is totally solid, that I can't burn through, because I burn through shade. Seriously, I sat under a shade cover one time when we lived in Abu Dhabi, and yeah, I got awfully sunburned, and I realised I can burn in the shade. So these days when I sit under shade, I like my shade like this, like solid shade. Or like I am in full body swimwear, even one of those little hats that like go over your ears, like the whole thing. I've given up on sun cream. I've just given up on sun cream. Okay, so one of the things that we talk about on these freedom seeker chats is myths. And one myth that I think people have is that to be a nomad, to work online, to run a business virtually, you have to be like tech savvy. And I am not tech savvy at all. As you can tell, that I can't even get my amazing guest on the call, but she's figured it out because she's awesome. So here we go. Here she is. Any minute now. I need a drum roll for the stage. Dun, dun, dun. Hey!
Hi. How is the sound? Because my phone is terrible, which is why I was trying to join on the laptop. So hopefully people can hear me okay. Please let me know if not, although I don't know how I'm going to fix it if you can't. But
Well, I can hear you absolutely
yeah, okay.
perfectly. So it sounds and it looks like from the colour of the area where you are that we're right next door, but clearly we're not. We're a few thousand miles away. Do you
Yeah.
want to share where you are?
So we're in Hoi An in Vietnam. So kind of middle of Vietnam. Feels like an island, but it's not. It's attached to the mainland, but beautiful old town and beautiful beach and just a bit of everything that we like. So we love it here. We've been here since February. So the longest we've ever stayed in one place since we started living this lifestyle.
Wow. But I know we're going to cover myths, but this is probably one myth now that we should maybe speak about. Like, slow travel can be really, really slow. We've just
Yeah.
spent 4 months in Nepal, for example, more than 4 months in Nepal. So, yeah, we don't always know when we're going to leave somewhere.
No, that's it. We don't
But
have a plan beyond this at the moment. We've got options. Obviously, there's always options, but we don't have
yeah.
an actual plan.
Oh, I love it, Amy. I was writing something this morning about when we first met, and I was like, I met Amy in a car park in Malaysia
I
when we
love
were
it.
going to a goat farm.
It was, and we have such like memories of the things that we've gone to like that, and it's always been on a whim.
Mm.
I guess like the freedom to be able to do that is what we're going to talk about. Be able to like make decisions, or in the moment, and go somewhere and just accept the what's going to happen, not knowing what's going
Yeah.
to not knowing who you're going to meet, not knowing what the things that you're going to do. And then, like you say, being at a goat farm, eating, I think, Si Ming brought us that big box full of cherries. Was it
Oh
cherries?
yeah,
You
something like
brought
that.
eating
Yeah.
cherries with baby goats crawling all over you. And like,
Yeah. Stroking hedgehogs. We were stroking hedgehogs. Who'd
hedgehog.
have thought that in the middle of Asia you'd be stroking a hedgehog? And one of my kids is convinced that she's now allergic to hedgehogs because she got this really weird reaction to them. Like, so go
You
on then.
can't
Tell
plan for
us,
that.
like,
Can't
you
plan.
can't plan for it, but tell us what is it you do and what is freedom to you? Because I think we've got a pretty similar version of freedom, but I'd love to hear how
Yeah.
you describe it.
It's
So
interesting.
what do you
I
do and
suppose
what's your freedom?
I don't just think about my version of freedom because it like I work with women for who freedom is the reason why they're running their business, but it looks really different for everybody. For us, quick long story short, we were in the UK living our normal lives, but we've always travelled. Ross and I, like, we met on holiday in Greece when I was 19, he was 20. And then we spent 5 years living in Switzerland, in the Swiss Alps, before we had kids. I, again, just kind of on a whim, go out there. He had a job as a ski instructor. I ended up running the ski school booking office just because things fall into place when you open yourself
Hmm.
up to stuff. Then we came back because we felt like not compelled to, not even pressurized to. We just felt like we should go back to the UK, buy a house, have kids, all that kind of stuff. But we've always then had like a desire to not be in one place. Like, we
Hmm.
don't like to be in one place forever. And so we traveled, holidays and what have you. But then one year we were like, shall we just go and see what it's like to live this lifestyle that we've been watching all the blogs of people in Thailand and things like that. Let's just book out 3 months of your work, which was Ross was the one physically tying us at that point because he was a wedding photographer, whereas
Hmm.
I was already working online. We said, book off 3 months, let's go and try it out, see what it's like. If we hate it, we know. If we love it, we can then do longer. So
Hmm.
we did it, and then we did the opposite of slow travel, which was like boom, 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 10 days, 5 days, 2 days, here, there, and everywhere. But then at the end of it, said, well, not even at the end, after about 2 weeks, we were shattered. And so we found a hub in Phu Quoc in Vietnam,
Hmm.
and a lot of people were talking about it. So we said, let's just go and try it. If we get
Hmm.
there, we don't like it, we just leave. Like, it's not a problem. And we loved it, and we met so many people that we're still friends with. In fact, a lot of them are here right now, people that
Yeah.
we're still friends with and travel with. And so my work by that point was fully online, working then with one particular software company, but a software company that in turn helps people to have freedom through automation, through like business systems. So I was then living this kind of just by accident, really had this job that allowed me to work in away from one location, and I was helping other people to create their version of freedom. And then we were traveling the world, and suddenly, like, what how did we end up here? It's a hard one because I genuinely just think the answer is we just allowed ourselves to follow the opportunities, to take that chance and see what happened.
Yeah, I love it. I really, really love your story. It's like, I think, feel so many people, and I know I've done it. Like, you can put location freedom off until at
Mm-hmm.
some point in the future, until you've done something. But actually, if you just choose to live it, you really can figure out things as you're
Yeah.
going, because life is a lot simpler when you've just got a backpack and you've not got school to
Mm.
contend with, and all those sorts of things. But I
Yeah.
suppose we're moving a bit now into myths. So I mean, you've done this in such a different way, in that you've just kind of gone with it and
Mhm.
changed things as you've gone. So what are some of the myths that you've heard, or that people told you, or that
Oh,
you thought about this location
I
freedom
think
sort of lifestyle?
myths, as well as you can kind of roll it in with kind of lies that you tell yourself to stop yourself from
Mm.
doing. And that's all a combination, because I don't even know if I've heard other people say this, or if it's just things that I've felt and worried about when we
Hmm.
were first starting to think about it, and the kind of the entire life that we've led up to that point, pretty much. Although, like I said before, we already had some location independence when we worked abroad, but we worked in one place, so we still weren't dependent. We were still dependent on location. So talking about it and thinking about it and watching other people do it, you have this overwhelming feeling of it just can't be that easy. There must be things that will stop you along the way. Obviously, one of the biggies is, how would we earn money?
Hmm.
And as I say, I don't want to say I'm lucky, because it's not luck. It's not luck that got me to have a role where I'm able to work online. It's because I've moved in that direction. I've made connections and
Hmm.
networking with other people. And I don't mean that in a way that, stand and present what you do. I just mean make genuine connections with other people in business, other people who are not even in business but might have opportunities to share. You've got to make those, build relationships with people, because that's how I went from being in a normal job, working for the university where I lived, to being a makeup artist, to then being whatever this is that I do, this tech support, helping people build websites and systems. I don't even know what title I would give myself, but that's all just through having conversations and taking opportunities. So that myth
Mm.
of not it being hard to make money when you are traveling is only true if you restrict yourself to like the type of typical jobs that you've done in the past. As soon as you
Yeah,
open yourself up to opportunities, that there's so many there.
yeah. And it sounds, God, it sounds woo. I am not a woo person at all, but you've kind of got to like believe that you can like
Yeah,
work online. Like I wanted to be able to work from home so that I could be around when the kids were, were present and little. Like I
yeah,
didn't want to have to be doing an awful commute. And that was just something that really, really kind of drove me. And it was like, I just believed it was possible. It sounds
yeah.
too easy to say the words, doesn't it? But you
No,
just
but it's
kind of got
yeah.
to
I
believe it and then be
totally,
prepared to
totally.
make a change.
I'm not the same as you. Like I wouldn't classify myself as woo woo, but I think, well, number one, the older I get, the more woo woo I do get. Okay, but still, like scientifically, when you allow your focus to be on something, you're much more likely to get that thing. That's not woo woo. That's just the reticular
Yeah.
activation system, the way your brain works. So if you're saying like, yeah, I can do this, I am going to do this, and I'm thinking about opportunities to get me there, you're much more likely to succeed down that path. So it's science backed woo woo. We can get on
Yeah.
board with that.
Yeah, no, totally. I love that. I love that. And oh God, I find myself regularly saying to the kids, I sound like a broken record sometimes. When you say, what do you want? And they say, well, I don't want to do that. I'm like, don't tell me what you don't want.
Yeah.
Tell me what you do want. I can't do anything with what you don't want.
Oh, we're the same here. I say that about 100 times.
Yeah, yeah, but I find like I saw somebody posting a question, oh, I don't know, in a Facebook group this week, like, how do I work online? And I'm like, well, I don't know, don't think about how can you work online. Think
Mm-hmm.
about what you can do and how you can do what you enjoy online. And it's a subtle
Yeah.
change, but I don't know, it's just if you know what work you've done before and you can take that online rather than looking for
Yeah.
something totally different, I think the gap's kind of closer and we can
Yeah.
like I was a management consultant, for heaven's sake. Like, what do management consultants do? Like, they go to offices and they do things and they use post-it notes and use flip charts. And I was just like, and I want to work from home. And exactly like you say, an opportunity presented itself because I was just like, and I want to do this from home. So um yeah,
No,
cool. Okay.
like when we talk about freedom, it is different for everybody.
Yeah.
And whilst you might have a number of followers because of what you do on social media that do want this type of freedom, like being able
Mm,
to live somewhere beautiful outside of where they are, that's not necessarily the freedom for everybody. Like you said, for both of us, we started that path of freedom at home and just wanting to work from home, wanting to do something that we
yeah.
could do more around our family, not having to be somewhere for set hours, not having to have 4 or 5 weeks holiday. Can
Yeah.
you imagine
No.
being restricted on holidays? I
I know.
couldn't go back.
No. No, in fact, like as a myth, and here's a myth. I wonder if you feel this, but I I love the time difference. Like I hear
Yeah,
people say, "Oh, but the time difference is a problem." I'm like, I've got 2 days in every one. Like
yeah,
I always do get up early, but I can get up early. I can get some work done whilst the kids are sleeping. Then in Asia, like 6 hours time difference, we can have the whole day to
yeah,
ourselves, and then mid to
100%.
late afternoon, then it's UK stuff. So I don't know. You're not cramming everything into the same 9 hour block when you've got a time difference. It's
Yeah.
like having two
And
days in one.
you've got to embrace that. So again, I've spoken to
Mm.
people out here actually who in Thailand there was one particular person I was speaking to who was working as a VA, and she had, I mean, she, not a negative person at all, but had a bit of a negative outlook on that since she was finding it restrictive because she had to do certain hours around certain people. And like, but just embrace that part of it.
Hmm.
Yes, that if you've got to work in the afternoon, why is that a negative thing? you're only working in the afternoon. Like you say, you have a whole day before these people even wake up, so you can
Yeah.
prep and do stuff, and you can be ready to rock and get your work done super fast. Like
Yeah.
I absolutely love the time difference. The only time where it's been a slight issue is if I've got clients on like the east coast of the US.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a gap. But we work
That's
around
a bit.
it. Like, it's just
Yeah.
putting your boundaries and expectations
Yeah.
out there. You start working with a company or a client or whatever. This is where I am. This is the hours I work, and that's that. And if it's not okay, then that relationship, that work relationship, isn't going to work out. But the next one will. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't find it restrictive at all.
Yeah. So boundaries, I mean, that is certainly a hack that makes location freedom work, and just kind
Mm,
of like owning the boundaries like that. It's not a restriction, but it's something that makes it clear for everybody
yeah.
else. So what other hacks have you got, or tips like for making a location free life work?
So obviously, doing what I do, I recognize how important, if you've got a business, whatever that business is, applying as much automation to the boring back
Mm,
end admin stuff as you physically can, because that saves so much time and energy, as well as avoiding mistakes. We're only human. When I was working as a makeup artist, I was doing everything manually, completely manually. And not only did it take a lot of time, but I am terrible for just being like, oh, I'll do that later, and then completely
mhm.
forget. So obviously there was massive gaps. I was a total bottleneck in that business because there was massive gaps in communication with potential clients or follow up. There was just huge gaps in the business and what it could have been because of me, because I was preventing it from happening. Whereas if things are
Mhm.
automated, and I genuinely think most people can automate 90% of that, as long as it's not the client facing stuff
Yep.
have to do. 90% or more can be completely automated, which obviously takes a bit of time to set up in the beginning, but then it's done. And it's just a matter of checking in on it once a while. That
Mhm.
saves huge amounts of time and gives you the freedom to not have to take your laptop out with you everywhere you go, which I
Yeah.
have done in the past. To not have that feeling of constantly having to check your phone when you're trying to have the kids just want you to be in the sea. It's like
Yeah.
being able to break apart the work and lifestyle. For me, wherever you are, that's the freedom part. Being able to
Yeah.
completely embrace the fun and the family time or whatever it happens to be for you without worrying about work. Do your work, it's in
Yeah.
that boundary. You've set the boundaries. This is the work hour. This is what I'm doing. And again, it's been like that separate time means that you can fully embrace work and then fully enjoy the rest.
Mm. And do you find like something, because I often talk about, systemizing and automating and outsourcing, maybe like, these are all ways that we can get some of our time back. And I find like they're quite corporate words, but I use them in a corporate setting, but they can also sound quite scary. I
Yeah.
outsourced a process whilst trekking a trail in Nepal. And it sounds like you can automate, so these words sound scary and I think they can put people off, but actually
Mhm.
systemizing, automating, they can be as easy, light, or
Yeah.
as heavy as we choose to make them, can't they?
Exactly. Yeah. It can be as basic as putting an out of office message on your,
Mm,
converting your WhatsApp to a business WhatsApp and having an out of office message on there. So that can be like on the most basic level. Automating and setting a boundary can just be that. You don't have to have big fancy systems in place, but there's so many pieces of software now, and even easier to use now, because not only were they always good, but they've now got like extra kind of AI driven parts of
mm,
them can give you support in building it out in the first place. So you can have everything in one place and have so much of it just running on autopilot that you don't have to
mm,
think. I think people get scared of the idea of building something like that, but it's or having it built and then breaking it because they've gone into it and pressed the wrong thing. But you really can't. It would be a big effort to really break a piece of software like
yeah.
that. So
And
I
this
would
is, you
say
know what?
people just
This is
try.
what I really this is what I really love about your, and I saw the other week you've started like a new offer for what you do, and I think it's absolutely golden. Like, do you want to? I'm not going to attempt to explain what it is you do, but I saw it and I was just I stood up and practically gave you a standing ovation from where I was because I thought it was amazing. Do you want to explain what your new thing is?
So like I say, I've been working for a software company who is like an all-in-one platform built on High Level. It's a white label of High Level. I've worked for them for about 4 years, and then I took a bit of a step back in October because I wasn't very well. problems with my neck, stress, just like, you know, loads of things. So for a few months, I completely stepped back other than a few clients that I was working with. But then I was keep getting messages from people still asking for little bits of help, and I was giving it. And there was a podcast I listened to about 2 or 3 years ago it was run by a woman who was like a marketing expert who used to charge, you know, like tens of thousands of pounds corporations to work with her for marketing. And she'd created an offer for individuals and small businesses where they could just pay her. I think she was charging a couple of £100, you know, it was more than I'm charging. She was charging a couple of £100 a month to basically have unlimited access to her in messages. But the rules were that she would only respond twice a day. So you can message her whatever you like, and then twice a day for an hour or so each end of the day, she's working and she's going in and she's responding to everybody. So since I listened to that has been in my mind. And I thought this is the perfect time to do it. So that's what the Tech Desk is. It is basically it's aimed particularly at people who are using all-in-one software, like something built on high level. And they, you know, they've got stuff built or they're starting to build it, and they've got some support from the software they're using, but they want a person who can get to know their business, get to know them, get to know what they want, and then advise them with that in mind, not just the kind of computer response, the AI chatbot response. They don't want a written guide to read through. They don't want a YouTube video. They just want somebody to be like, this is what you need to do in your software, and then they can do it. So yeah,
and I loved your you've got a little thing, haven't you, where is it that you answer one question kind of like free or something like that, and I popped you a question and you came back just like with a dead direct, dead straight, Julie, do this. And I was like, oh my god, Amy, this is golden. Like I'm just so pleased.
Perfect for me as well, you know, again, setting boundaries. I'm working at the ends of the day. It's very clear what we're doing. The people that I'm working with are loving it. They're getting their responses and the answers that they need, and we're chatting about other stuff as well. You know, it's not just techie things. It's the conversations that I always had with when I was working and running tech support for the company. I realized, you know, I am offering so much more than just tech support. I've got experience with Women's Business Network with my friends in the UK. We ran that for years. Got experiences my own businesses and just life experience in general. And so quite often, a lot of the conversations that I'm having are not just how do I do this thing? It's more like, should I do this thing? Like, should we even be doing this? Or is there a better way? And we'll have like general conversations that are loosely related to tech, but it's, you know, it's being able to offer that service and understand a person and what they want and what their business is much more than being an IT kind of service. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and to do it in an asynchronous way. I mean, you've really inspired me. I'm kind of like, you know, really similar sort of thing. I get a lot of property questions and like all this kind of stuff. And you've really made me think, gosh, you know, I could really maybe think about offering a similar thing. So watch this space.
And then people don't feel bad about asking you questions, because again, people will be like, I'm really sorry to ask. And then now, you know, I'm only charging like $97 a month. They pay that, and it's a free for all. Like, they can ask us whatever they like, and they don't have to feel bad because they've had permission. You know? And I never made anybody feel bad. I was quite happy to answer questions. But people know when they're asking for a favor that work is that they don't want to take advantage. So now they pay $97 and they can take advantage as much as they like.
So go on, tell us, how do we find the Tech Desk? Where is it?
So I actually had it just on my normal domain, which is amy-martin.com, but I've just today bought thetechdesk.com, which has got hyphens in between the Tech Desk. So you can go to thetechdesk.com, and there is a free masterclass that we're going to do, which I think everybody would love, which is going to be about summer, like planning it to automate your business for summer. So whether if you're in the UK or wherever you are and you're thinking about the summer holidays or 6 weeks where you want to be able to go out and enjoy yourself, but business calls, this is going to happen on the 16th of May, and then you're going to have from the 16th of May until mid-July, I think the UK school holidays start, to get stuff automated, so that you can shut your laptop and go and enjoy stuff in the summer halls and not have to worry about all the boring admin that takes so much time.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, well, I'll pop that link somehow by some clever wizardry on here as well, so that people can get it.
If you go to it's in the link in bio.
Oh yeah, that one too. Oh, Amy, it's been amazing to speak to you. Thank you so much for making time for me today.
All in real life soon.
I know, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's make it happen soon.
I'm sure.
Say hi to the tribe from us.
I will. See you soon.
See you, lovely. Bye.
Bye.